Hello, everyone. For centuries, professional communities have realized the benefits of forming societies to foster collaboration and advance their field. This month, the International Statistics Institute is celebrating 140 years of service to the statistics profession, with over 4,000 members drawn from across the world, from government, from academia, and the private sector. The ISI has truly grown into one of the most diverse and important collectives of statisticians. The role of statisticians and the voice of statistics have been and continue to be critical in our governments, our businesses, and our societies. Hello, I'm Kerry Mengerson, Distinguished Professor of Statistics and member of the Centre for Data Science at the Queensland University of Technology in Australia. I'm a current Vice President of the ISI and the lead for the public voice of the ISI, and I'm pleased to be your moderator for today. In this webinar, we're going to celebrate the 140th anniversary of the ISI through a series of short presentations on the past, the present, and the future of the society. Over the next hour and a half, we'll learn about the history of the society, we'll reflect on its global and capacity building role, spotlight women and underrepresented groups in statistics, we'll hear about the society's vision for the next few years, and we'll be inspired by the voice of the next generation. We'll also present a special intermission, some mathematical magic. But for this session, you'll need to be prepared with a pen and some paper and some imagination. So get ready. To formally open the webinar, I'd like to call on our host, our ISI Director, Conchita Klavik. Over to you, Conchita.
Thank you, Kerry. So 140 years ago, a small group of wise old men from Europe set up the International Statistical Institute with one dream: to build a global community committed to strengthening the role of statistics in society. They felt it was necessary to collaborate internationally in order to improve the methodology and use of statistics. And I'm sure Jean-Louis will tell us more about the interesting history of the ISI. I wish to congratulate all ISI officers and members with this important milestone. In the world we live in, statistics play an important role in providing reliable information to policy and decision makers. And I sincerely hope that the ISI will continue to connect statisticians all over the world and cross-sectoral regardless of, for example, age, race, gender, or religion. The initial 81 members were the elite of that era's statisticians in government and academia. And since then, the ISI has grown and developed into a diverse and inclusive association. We have, as Kerry already mentioned, over 4,000 members from around 150 countries. We have 7 associations and 22 committees, and our members come from academia, research institutes, national statistical offices, central banks, and private organizations. And what strikes me is that the initial goals of the ISI are still the same: encourage networking and communication through our World Statistics Congress and regional statistics conferences, increase the public voice of statistics through our webinars, blogs, videos, and Wikipedia pages, and develop capacity through our ISI Academy activities. And personally, as the ISI Director, I'm very committed to supporting, together with my permanent office colleagues, the ISI members and officers of the ISI and its associations and committees. This anniversary is an opportunity to celebrate our shared history and look ahead to the future of our field. But I also think it's a moment to reflect on how the ISI has influenced our work, our careers, and the broader world. I think bringing together people to improve their skills and learn from other people, organizations, countries, regions, and sectors is still an important role for the ISI to play. I wish you a wonderful 140th anniversary and enjoy this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Conchita, for those opening remarks. And thank you, importantly, for all the fabulous work you do for the ISI as our director. Our first presentation in this webinar is going to focus on the past. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Jean-Louis Baudin, who will share his reflections on the history of the ISI. Jean-Louis has had a distinguished career as an official statistician in the French and European statistical systems, where he's been working for 45 years. He's dedicated the last 25 years of his active career to international relations in official statistics and cooperation for strengthening statistical capacities of transition and developing countries. He was one of the main drafters of the UN resolution on fundamental principles for official statistics and of the African Statistical Charter. He's also known for having created AfriStat, the Economic and Statistical Observatory of Sub-Saharan African countries. Since his retirement in 2006, he's an international consultant specialized in the organization of official statistics systems and ethics and good practices in official statistics in developing and transition countries. He received the African Statistical Award bestowed by the UN Economic Conference for Africa in 2012. Jean-Louis has served on many positions in the ISI family, including Executive Director of the IASS and founding member and president of the IAOS. Jean-Louis, I can't think of anyone who would be better suited to be the first presenter for this webinar and to tell us about the history of statistics. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Kerry, for your very nice words. Can you present my slides, please? Oh, yes, but it is not the first one. Okay, thank you. So you can, next slide, please. Okay, so today we are celebrating our 140th anniversary. And in fact, in June, 140 years ago, the Statistical Society of London organized its Golden Jubilee meeting. In fact, the Statistical Society of London Royal Charter conferred on this society 2 years after the current and prestigious title of Royal Statistical Society. In preparing the Jubilee, the need to recreate relationships between statisticians from all countries had been felt by several members of the society. And the same need had been felt by members of the Société de Statistique de Paris, which organized its Silver Jubilee meeting also in 1885. The presidents of the two societies, Sir Rawson W. Rawson and Léon C., decided to invite statisticians from other countries to their jubilees, with a final gathering in London on precisely the 24th of June, 1885. It was decided to create an International Statistical Academy under the name of ISI. But in fact, this decision was the result of a long history of statistical international cooperation initiated in 1851. Next slide. In fact, in 1851, the famous Belgian statistician Adolphe Quetelet, I'm sorry, there is a horrible mistake because the spell checker made a big mistake when I entered the name of Quetelet. So Adolphe Quetelet and Prince Hilbert, who was the consort of Queen Victoria, during the Universal Exhibition, decided to create these international statistical congresses. 9 congresses were held between 1953 and 1976. You have the list on the slide. Which is interesting, it is the opening address of the 4th Congress held in London in 1860. The Prince Albert stated that, you can read, these congresses paved the way to an agreement among different governments and nations to follow up common inquiries in a common spirit by a common method for a common end. And I think this definition of international statistics is still available today. Next slide, please. I would like now to introduce some achievements and controversies during the period coming from the first International Statistical Congress in 1853 and the end of the Second World War. First, the production of International Statistical Directory. In fact, it was started during the International Statistical Congresses, and ISI made the followers. In fact, this is now into the hands of international agencies such as the UN or the World Bank. Also, there was a production of statistical classification, and among them, the first international classification of disease and causes of death, which was adopted, in fact, by the fourth session held in Chicago in 1893. In fact, this classification was started. The first try to make this classification were made during the first International Statistical Congress in Brussels in 1853. Nowadays, of course, this classification is made by the World Health Organization in Geneva. An interesting controversy take place in the last decade of the 19th century. In fact, Norwegian statisticians, Nicolai Kier, tried to introduce the sampling methods. And what is very funny is the reaction of the ISI General Assembly were very violent, and Kier's proposals were refused almost unanimously. And in fact, it was just in 1925 where the General Assembly approved the conclusion of a report in favor of these methods. Also, there was a controversy about the creation of the ISI Permanent Office. It was created in The Hague during the 13th ISI session, and some participants feared that the setting up of a permanent office would limit the independence of the ISI. Fortunately, the existence of this office prevented the ISI from exploding during the First World War. The Netherlands was a neutral country, but the ISI president, Luigi Bodio, was from allied countries, and the vice president was German. The role of the ISI have changed a lot when the League of Nations was set up after the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. And the first act was to appoint an International Statistical Commission, who was a subsidiary body of the League of Nations. This creation weakened the role of the ISI vis-à-vis the official statistics, but without compromising its role as a forum for research in probability and mathematical statistics. For instance, the presentation of the paper by Jerzy Nijmans on the theory of tests in London in 1934. The outbreak of the Second World War created a new crisis in the ISI. The 24th session convened in Prague in 1938 closed prematurely because of Hitler's ultimatum sent to the Czechoslovak government. The occupation of the Netherlands by the German forces put an end to all ISI activities, but fortunately, the ISI office and its archives were transferred to the Peace Palace, which was an extraterritorial place. It is interesting to see that Peace Palace will be the place where we gather in October for our 65th World Statistical Congress. Next slide. I think I have not the time enough to present the revitalization of the ISI after the 1945. It was due mainly to Professor Stuart Rice, who was both ISI president and create and draft new statutes for the ISI, but also the chairman of the nuclear session who recommended to create the UN Statistical Commission and the UN Statistical Division in the UN headquarters. So next slide. You can find a good history of the ISI until 1960 in the history of the ISI published by Nixon. I suppose some exemplars are still available, and you have also in the ISI website some pages concerned with the history of ISI. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Jean-Louis, for your reflections. It's really inspiring to recall how far the ISI has come since its inception 140 years ago. So now that we have dwelt a little bit on the past and the ISI of yesterday, I'd like us to bring us to the present. And I'd like to welcome 3 speakers who will reflect on the ISI of today. And the first of these speakers is Professor Zhuming He. So Zhuming is the Kotzebue Beckham Distinguished Professor and the inaugural Chair of Statistics and Data Science at the Washington University in St. Louis, USA. He is a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, the American Statistical Association, the Institute of Mathematical Statistics, and he's an elected member of the ISI. He's received many awards, including the Distinguished Achievement Award from the International Chinese Association, the Founders Award from the ASA, and the Carver Medal from the IMS for his decades-long contributions to the statistics profession. He's a past councillor of the IMS and the ISI, president of the ICSA, editor of the IMS Bulletin and the IMS monographs textbooks, and co-editor of JASA. He's currently our ISI president. How lucky are we to have somebody so esteemed to be our president? Zhuming, that's an amazing record, and it's a pleasure to welcome you. Would you like to talk about the key highlights and challenges in today's statistical landscape? Over to you.
Thank you, Carrie, for the very nice introduction. Happy 140th anniversary to the ISI. 140 years might be just a drop of water in human history, but the world has really experienced significant events and transformations over that period of time. In terms of technology, for example, the invention of the internet, mobile phones, and also the advancement in data and computing have really revolutionized communication, information access, and of almost every aspect of our life. Adapting to this changing landscape in the world, I'm really happy to say that the ISI has stood the test of time and has now become a truly global nonprofit and non-government organization in promoting statistical science for a better world. So let me spend just the next few minutes to briefly discuss the current work of the ISI and ongoing challenges. So I'm going to be focusing on ISI governance, the ISI Academy, our ISI regional efforts, and some of the ongoing challenges. As Jean-Louis said earlier, that the ISI formally started in 1885, and the current system of governance actually started around 1979. So we are now governed under Dutch law and ISI statutes. The last time we revisited the statutes and the bylaws was in 2011, around 14 years ago. So this year, we formed an ad hoc working group to go over the details and suggest revisions. And the suggested revisions were discussed at the Executive Committee and the ISI Council and will soon be shared with all ISI members for comments. We believe that the updates will ensure that we keep up with the current law and regulations and improve the clarity and efficiency of our governance. So the revision is expected to be finalized at the General Assembly in this October. So next, I want to speak about the ISI Academy. As we know, statistical capacity development has been a strategic priority for the ISI. And we are really dedicated to making a meaningful impact on low and middle income countries and the regions around the world. In 2023, the concept of the ISI Academy, initiated by the ISI Capacity Building Committee, turned into action. The Academy aims to partner with other stakeholders for capacity development. Under this initiative, we have been pursuing several specific action plans, as some of them recently announced by our President-elect Fabrizio Ruggeri. We are launching the ISI magazine for our members and about our members. We are designing an ISI mentoring program, bringing seasoned ISI members to developing regions. We are currently recruiting a coordinator to work on the implementation of our strategies and at the same time to identify and secure additional funds to support the Academy. So stay tuned and expect a lot more to come from the ISI Academy in the coming years. At the ISI, we believe in regional coordination and activities. In recent years, we have promoted the regional conferences as well as our presence at other regional events. The ISI Public Voice Committee has been conducting regional webinars and established the ISI Public Voice Consortium. We have regional outreach committees in East Asia and in Southeast Asia. Another one for Latin America is being established. As ISI president, I participated in several regional meetings and forums just in the past 12 months. I've been in Mexico, China, Colombia, and Saudi Arabia. I see great potential for our collaborations and partnership with statisticians in each of those regions. As we focus on what we do, we are also fully aware that ongoing challenges we face as a global organization. We do not live in a perfect world, actually far from it. The ISI work depends critically on our members and volunteers, and capacity development work really depends on financial resources. So our membership structure is unique as we have organizational members as well as individual members from around the world. Growth of membership and the level of membership fees that our members pay have not kept pace with inflation. So we need more innovative ideas to engage more members and identify revenues, contain cost as we go forward to ensure our financial sustainability. Fundamental to the ISI is the promotion of professional ethics and professional integrity. And public trust in statistics depends on our work. It has been, and I believe it will continue to be, an ongoing challenge for us to speak up and stand up for our professional values and integrity to win public trust, and to encourage all governments, as well as the private sector, to collect, share, use, and interpret data responsibly. Last but not least, we constantly face geopolitical challenges in many parts of the world. Our members come from different regions and they have their own worldviews and have their unique challenges. We must respect differences and unite as a professional organization. And we can do more in promoting statistical science by supporting one another and working together for our core values. Now, of course, this is easier said than done, but we must continue this path for the next 140 years, whatever comes our way. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Shiming, for your illuminating discussion. You've made some great points about the current status of the ISI and also some really important points for us to reflect on as we go forward. We've been so fortunate to have you as our ISI president. So remaining in the ISI present, I've now got great pleasure in introducing Professor Denise Livesley. Denise is one of the world's most well-known social statisticians. She's also one of the most decorated, with awards including Commander of the Order of the British Empire and Fellowship of the UK Academy of Social Sciences. Denise has held professional roles at King's College London and in Oxford, and she was the Chief Executive of the English Information Centre for the Health and Social Care, Director of Statistics at UNESCO, in which capacity she founded the UNESCO Institute for Statistics, and Director of what is now the UK Data Archive. Denise has also served as a United Nations Special Advisor on Statistics, stationed in Addis Ababa. And she served as a past president of the International Biometric Society, the ISI, and the IAOS. More importantly, and perhaps equally importantly, she's a really lovely person. So Denise, the ISI has always had a dedicated global and capacity development role. And I'd like to ask you to speak to the importance of this role for the ISI of the present. Over to you. Denise, now you're on mute.
Yeah, unmuting sometimes takes time, doesn't it?
It does.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Thank you. Very nice words. As we've heard, global contacts and cooperation in order to share new ideas and developments in stats is really the raison d'etre of the ISI. And our aim has to be to continue to promote high quality statistics for the public good across the world. Our aim also is to get greater global cooperation, which is even more important in these days when understanding and communicating the truth is under attack and false information is spread so rapidly. So how do we achieve that? Well, of course, through conferences and other meetings and through a range of publications, but critically by the building of relationships and formal and informal support systems. In this regard, like Shuming, I'd like to highlight the Ethics Committee of the ISI, which provides a group of concerned statisticians who set standards and guidelines, but who call out bad practice, but do so in a way which is cognizant of the sensitivity of the situation and with an appreciation of the circumstances of the statisticians, the cultural differences. A somewhat unique role of the ISI, which was mentioned by Louis Baudin, is the membership of the UN Statistics Commission. We're the only professional statistics society to be in this position. And in my personal view, we need to take greater advantage of this role, which allows us to represent the profession of statistics inside and outside government and to fight for the importance of statistics for the public good. Turning now to the position of ISI within the international community of statisticians, we've got a difficult balance to achieve. The ISI needs to strengthen and grow its membership and its activities, but it shouldn't do that at the expense of locally owned and developed statistical activities, which can be more relevant and more accessible, particularly to younger statisticians. So in my opinion, the role of the ISI in leading an association of international and regional and national statistical societies is really important. I'd like to return to the situation where the leads of these various statistical societies are really encouraged and supported to attend ISI World Fora, to exchange their experiences and to build alliances. And the ISI, together with the wealthier, influential statistics societies in countries such as my own, can support the creation and functioning of societies in less fortunate parts of the world. So that leads me to the role of the ISI, very specifically in statistical capacity development. It's had rather a patchy history, I have to be honest. There have been initiatives such as the leadership training for senior statisticians in poorer countries. These initiatives being started, but sometimes lapsing, often because of difficulties with funding, but also organisations which are dependent upon volunteer help can run into problems when the volunteers can no longer commit their time. I know this, I was director of the ISI at one time, so I have sympathy with Conchita when she's working with a network of volunteers in this regard. In the past, statistical capacity development has been an important part of the ISI activities, notably when we had the Demographic Data Centre based at the ISI Permanent Office, following the really important World Fertility Survey, which was carried out by the ISI. But continuity of funding was problematic, as was the fact that this set the ISI up in competition with organisations employing statisticians, many of whom might be ISI members. So this conflict is a bit of a problem. I'll be watching with great interest, and I'm very excited as the ISI Academy is established, and I wish it every success. And I'm very keen and excited to see that funding is going to be a high priority. Meanwhile, I think there are a couple of other things we can do. One is to log what we currently do in relation to statistical capacity building. We do a lot, you know, and the ISI and the ISI associations can learn from one another. And if we log and look at what we do, we can identify some gaps. I'm thinking about things like dues reductions, reductions in fees for conferences, prizes for statisticians, particularly those from poorer countries or younger statisticians, mentoring systems that are established. I think we should be prouder of what we're doing and a bit more upfront about it. The second thing I'd like to mention is that the ISI is a member of the International Science Council. Within the International Science Council, we represent statisticians, and there are opportunities for us to engage with scientists and social scientists in a range of fascinating global projects. The International Science Council also supports young scientists, and we haven't yet exploited that opportunity. There are groups of young statisticians. I've been involved with two, the Royal Statistical Society Young Statisticians and the Young Statisticians, YASA, Young Statisticians in Africa, where I'm rather proud to be an elder. We have these groups of young statisticians, but we don't yet know how to support them to network with one another and to build broader global systems. And I think there are opportunities for us to do that. So I'm really excited that we're at our 140th anniversary, and I'd like to congratulate everybody. I think we've done some important work, but I think we also have opportunities to build for the future. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Denise. You've given us a great deal to think about, both as a society and as statistics professionals in our world. So another key role of the ISI is the promotion and support of women and underrepresented groups in statistics. And our third and last speaker in this session on the ISI of the present is Professor Amanda Goldbeck. Like Denise, Amanda is a statistician, social scientist, and academic leader. She's a professor and dean at the University of Arkansas in the USA, and she's chair of the AMS, ASA, MAA, SciAm Data Committee that oversees the annual survey of mathematical sciences, as well as a member of the editorial board of Significance magazine. She's an elected fellow of the American Statistical Association and the ISI. Amanda is a champion for women in statistics, and she contributes significantly to the ISI Committee on Women in Statistics. She's known for her books, including her work on leadership and women in statistics, and her new biography on Florence Nightingale David. I can't wait to read it. She's a recipient of the COP's Elizabeth L. Scott Award for her outstanding efforts in enhancing the status of women and minorities, fostering new leadership opportunities for women and men, promoting diversity at all levels, and advocating for a more inclusive, open, and supportive atmosphere in statistical sciences. Wow, what a commendation. Amanda, thank you for being here. And I can't think of anyone more capable of talking about the role of ISI in supporting women and underrepresented groups in statistics. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Carrie. I am so honored to be part of this celebration. I'm going to take a minute here to get my slides going. Oops. There we go. People say, don't count the days, make the days count. Thinking about women in statistics, we say, do count the women and make women count. So don't count days, but do count women and make both the days and the women count. About 15 years ago, I started asking, where are the women in our profession? Statistics women were pretty invisible. Here are some examples from my region. I attended one of the joint statistical meetings. There were posters everywhere with pictures of the featured speakers. There were no pictures of women. I looked at the registration guide. There were no pictures of women there either. A few years later, we noticed that there were no lectures named after women at the meetings. This was a big omission because there are usually over 6,000 people attending. Then I attended a national workshop about awards. I counted the number of research awards given to statistics women over a 10-year period. The number was really small. There have been presidents of the American Statistical Association since 1839. Over the first century, there were no women. Now, fortunately, things have improved. We have women among featured speakers and in registration guides. We have the Florence Nightingale David and Elizabeth Scott lectures. We have more women research award winners. Women presidents of associations are common. But even with the improvements, the ISI knows that our work in associations is not done. We need to continue to make women visible. When women aren't visible, it's easy to conclude that they don't count. The same can be said for other underrepresented groups. It's common to say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Thinking again about women statisticians, we say, it's not just what a woman knows, it's also who she knows. So, women have to be experts and connect with others. Connection provides access to opportunity. The ISI has two groups that have excelled over many years at making women visible and connecting them. One is the Management Committee on Women. The other is the country representatives. The current chair of these two groups is Dr. Sanja Dumacic of Croatia. I met Sanja in Dublin at a roundtable. It was my first World Statistics Congress. We have had lots of collaborations over the years. We have cooperated on talks and book chapters. Here we are at the World Statistics Congress in Marrakesh. A big thank you to Sanja for her leadership of the ISI women's groups. She is such an enthusiastic and able leader. And many thanks to the two ISI women's groups for all of their good work, and to ISI project manager Olivia van Dijk Timbal for her helpful support. Our Management Committee on Women strengthens the representation of women in the ISI and provides opportunities to be visible. The committee is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. Since 1995, it has produced many, many enjoyable and impactful meetings, presentations, roundtable discussions, networking events, and podcasts. Our country reps are really accomplished and network with women in their country. It takes years of effort to create a group with over 50 committed people from across the globe. Kudos to the management committee for creating this wonderful resource. Now I am asking, what if we turned more of our attention to the country reps? What if we further organized and leveraged them to help make women more visible and more connected? We will begin to explore what that could look like when we meet in The Hague in October. 23% of the ISI elected members are women. 31% of the ISI regular members are women. We've counted women. Now let's continue to make sure that they count. Now let's make them even better known. So on behalf of Statistics Women and underrepresented groups, happy 140th anniversary to the ISI.
Oh, that was awesome, Amanda. Thank you so much. On behalf of all of us who stand on the shoulders of those who've paved the way, thank you for all your efforts in this area, and thanks to the committees and the people that have preceded you in really making this such an important part of the ISI. You make the ISI of the present a welcoming and priority place for professional engagement and advancement for all of us. So now, before we move our focus to the ISI of the future, I'd like to pause for 10 minutes for a special treat. And I'd like to introduce my friend and professional colleague and one of the most impressive people that I know, Professor Antonietta Mira. So Antonietta is a professor of statistics at USI in Switzerland and at the University of Insubria in Italy. She's an elected fellow of the International Society for Bayesian Analysis, the IMS, and the ISI. And she's a fellow of the Institute Lombardo Accademia di Science and Letters. In addition to the stellar research career, Antonietta has been really active in popularizing statistical thinking. She's conceived, created, and directed a Swiss exhibit, Number by Numbers. She's co-authored a popular science book on the COVID-19 pandemic. And importantly for today, she's also interested in mathematical stage magic. In her spare time, she performs magic in pediatrics hospitals as a volunteer Dr. Clown. And she's created a conference show on mathematical plus magic that she performs in theatre and lecture halls. Wow. So we've asked Antonietta to show us some of her mathematical magic with us today. Antonietta, over to you.
Thanks, Carrie, for the nice introduction and for this wonderful opportunity to show you some mathematical magic. Can you please confirm that you see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Perfect. Well, first of all, happy 140th anniversary to ISI. So to perform this math magic, because you're not here with me in presence, I ask you to have a paper and a pen. And I would like you on that piece of paper to reproduce this grid of 4x4 numbers. So let me read this out to you so that you can write it on your paper. And I would like really everybody to do this. It's easy. It's going to be fun. So first row, 13, 24, 61, 27. Second row, 15, 26, 63, 29. Third row, 32, 43, 80, and 46. Last row, 4, 18, 55, and 21. Now, I would like you to take your pen, or ideally, you should have 4 colored pens. But echoing Emily Dickinson, one of my favorite poets, to make math magic, it takes a paper and 4 pens. 1 paper and 4 pens. And reverie. The reverie will do if the pens are few. So I would like you to use your imagination and pretend that your single color pen is really 4 colors. For example, a straight line is green, a dotted line is going to be blue, a wiggly line is red, and so on. So you come up with your favorite symbol and make those your 4 colors. Now, with those 4 colors, I would like you to go back to your grid of points and color each one of the columns with 1 color. So for example, I've picked blue for the first column, green for the second one, pink for the third one, and light blue for the last one. It's your choice. You color each column with the 4 colors that you have chosen. Now, with the same 4 colors, in a random order, the one that you prefer, it doesn't have to be the same order which you have picked for the columns, you color the 4 rows. For example, I picked green for the first one, blue for the second one, then light blue, and finally pink. Good. I pause for a few seconds. I hope you're done.
And Henrietta, when you called out the numbers in the bottom left corner, you called out a 4, but here it's a 7. Is it a 7?
Oh my
Or a
gosh.
4?
Um,
May have just called it out wrongly. I just did some. I don't know. But anyway, let's keep going. I just.
yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, I think it should be a 7 then. Yeah,
Okay.
like here. Okay, great. Yeah, it's a 7. Now, like colors meet on numbers. For example, blue and blue meet on 15 for me, and I circled 15. Green and green meet on 24, and so on. So you circle those 4 numbers that are that you have identified that meets on equal colors. Okay. Now, I would like you to sum those 4 numbers that you have identified. And you can write the result in the chat. Are you done? So
We may not be able to see their chat. I'm not sure, but at least they've written it down.
okay, you wrote the sum, right? Does the sum mean anything to you? Well, the sum should be 140, unless you've done some mistake in summing up things. So if you don't get 140, don't tell anybody. So this is an example of a little mathematical magic trick. So I've constructed this table so that no matter how you pick the colors and you color rows and columns, you always get 140. So, but there's more to this table. So here I've looked up the ISI webpage, and it says there are 7 associations, 21 committees, 133 countries, and the year of establishment was 185. So you see 5 is here at the bottom, 7 associations, 21 committees, and the sum over this row is 133. Let's continue with another math magic, but I would like to tell you that these mathematical magic tricks have a long history. Here you see Charles the Great with his court welcoming Aquino from York. And Aquino wrote a book, Propositiones ad Aquendos Juvenes, and this is the first instance when math was mixed with magic. So it's the first example. We are in 785 when he wrote this book that is showing to Charles the Great. Let me go on with another trick. I would like you to think of a 2-digit integer number between 20 and 60. For example, I've picked 58. 58 is 5 tenths and 8 units. Now, I would like you to subtract from this number, let's say this is your favorite number, it's tenths. So in my case, I should do 58 minus 5, and I get 53. You do your math. Now, from the result, you subtract off its units. So in my case, I should do 53 minus 8 units, which is 45. Okay, so you have your favorite two-digit numbers, and first subtract off its tens, and then from the result, subtract off its units. Now, you look up the results you got in the following table. And in the following table, we have each number associated to one of the 52 cards that you find in a deck of cards. Okay, so you have the result of your math, you have a number, and you look up this number in this table. Okay, let me move this. Okay, so you should see the table. Look up your card associated to the result of your math. And again, if you've done the math correctly, you should get that your number was associated with the 4 of clubs. Did it work? Good. Okay, let me conclude with a little present for ISI. Well, a little bit more of history. Luca Pacioli wrote this De Viribus Quantitatis on the power of numbers. And here you see Luca Pacioli writing Euclid's theorem, and he was also interested in magic squares. Well, magic squares are squares where you sum up along each row, each columns, and the diagonal, and you get a constant, a given constant. So here you have a 4x4 magic square where the sum over the rows, the columns, and the diagonal is always, what is it? 34. But there's more to this magic square. You get 34 also if you sum the numbers in the smaller corner squares and in the middle one. Finally, at the bottom, you have 1514, which is the year when Dürer engraved this engraving. And at the top of this engraving, you have a magic square that I just showed you. So 1514, the day of the engraving. So here is my present for ISI. So you have, I built this magic square, and this magic square is such that the sum over each row, each column, and each, it's always 185. And moreover, here you have 140. So happy 140th anniversary to ISI. And thanks for joining me for this little mathematical magic show. Online, it's harder to do it in person than in person, but I hope you have enjoyed it anyways. And thanks again for the opportunity.
Thanks very much, Antonietta. You never cease to amaze and inspire me. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for this contribution to the special anniversary of the ISI. You've made it very memorable for all of us.
Thank you.
Well, so far, we've journeyed from the ISI of the past to the ISI of the present. And now we'll continue this journey, and we're going to turn the spotlight on the ISI of the future. And two guests are going to speak to this topic. The first of these is our incoming ISI president, Professor Fabrizio Regheri. So Fabrizio's career has been primarily based at CNR, the National Research Council at IMATI, the Institute of Applied Mathematics and Information Technology in Milano, Italy. So since his formal retirement in 2023, he's been even busier than before. He's been a senior fellow at CNR IMATI, and he's taken up many visiting and adjunct appointments all around the world, devoting himself to teaching and professional service. He's a former editor-in-chief of Applied Statistics, Stochastic Models in Business and Industry, and he's one of the founding editors of Wiley StatsRef, Statistics Reference Online. He's an elected member of the ISI and a fellow of the American Statistical Association, the International Society for Bayesian Analysis, and the Institute for Mathematical Statistics. He's a past president of ISPA, the European Network for Business and Industrial Statistics, and the International Society for Business and Industrial Statistics. And he was one of the vice presidents of the ISI for the period 2017 to 2021, and he is currently president-elect for the period 23 to 25, and he will be the president for the period 2025 to 2027. And so we've asked Fabrizio to share his vision of the ISI for the coming years, for 25 to 27. We thought that he would be traveling at present and unable to join us in person, so he has prepared a video, but he's also here in person. So Fabrizio, would you like to say hello? And then we'll play your video.
Okay, thanks a lot, Carrie, for the nice word. It's a great pleasure to be here. And I recorded this one because, as you said, I'm always traveling. I am at a conference where tomorrow someone is celebrating also a special interest group on sports statistics. So just that's another activity of our association. Now, please play the video and happy birthday, ISI.
Now we can't hear the sound. No, I still can't hear the sound.
Oh.
Okay, I can do it live. Okay, it will not be the same,
Okay.
but I can do it live. So it's a great pleasure.
Thank you.
To
So
be
let's
here.
stop sharing and then we can, yeah. Thanks, Fabrizio.
Okay, I will do it. Well, I am Italian, so I'm a sort of actor. Okay, so I will do that. Well, Antonietta is a magician. I am an actor. So it's a great pleasure to be here and celebrate our 140th anniversary. I'm going to talk about what we are going to do in the near future. So we have three main pillars. They are ethics, public voice, and capacity development. In terms of ethics, we have been very involved and will keep being involved in the fundamental principle of statistics. We just issue our ethics committee some statement about how the United States is managing its financial budget. We will never stop in front of this. We will always be a defender of the principle of statistics all over the world. And also for us, it's important also the public voice activity, with which Carrie was very involved. I would like ISI to make statement when something is against statistical principle. I make the example of vaccines when there was the COVID. It is important that ISI states what, for example, the World Health Organization did about the vaccine in those days. We have to make here our voice very, very strongly on that more and more. So that's one of our goals. But also another important goal is about our ISI Academy, as Suming mentioned before. So we have a lot of activities. We are looking for partners, but also we have already activities. You will find on our website a data science course prepared some years ago by our Capacity Development Committee by Ed Bourne, Emma Raggi, and Delia North. It's moved there almost entirely, so please look at that. There are also other courses. Also, we have some mentoring activity. Some of us will go around the world giving courses for 3 weeks in Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam. And also, we are trying to have another thing, a committee which is in charge of pairing ISI members willing to give online courses and ISI members willing to receive courses. So that's some service that we are going to provide. Also, we are working on the ISI magazine. We appointed an editor-in-chief, Manuela Leonelli, very, very energetic, and put together an editorial board made essentially of very, very young people. And we are working on that, and we hope to have a number 0 by the World Statistics Congress. Regarding congresses, well, we have the World Scientific Congress here in The Hague, but also we have a next one, which will be in Korea in 2027. And we are working to get the next one in 2020 now in the southern part of the world. But also we would like to be more present around the world. We had the Regional Statistical Congress in Mexico last year. It was very successful. We are working to have an important one in Malta in June 2026, 3rd to 6th. Please remember this date. And also we are working to have, I was just recently in Uruguay, we are working to have another Regional Statistical Congress in Uruguay, probably in March, April 2027. Also, we have a lot of other activity because we would like to be more and more present, and we would like also to have more and more people involved in our associations. So please, we have many opportunities to be involved in these committees for mentoring, being a mentor, by the way, in asking for mentoring, in contributing to our magazine we're working on. So the point is that ISI is not made of officers only. It's made by the people and the people of this association. So the future for us is along the way that has been planned by the people before us, but we are trying to expand our activity, making ISI more known around the world and more involved, more involvement by the people. So that was more or less my recorded video. Thanks a lot to everyone and happy 104th anniversary.
Thank you very much, Fabrizio, for those words. We really look forward to the next few years of the ISI under your wise guidance and your passion for the society. So thank you. So our second speaker for the ISI of the future is one of our ISI young ambassadors, Professor Renata Roja Guerra. So Renata is an assistant professor at the Statistics Department at the Federal University of Santa Maria in Brazil, where she's worked since 2017. She's an affiliate member of the Brazilian Academy of Sciences for the 2024 to 28 term. She's a grantee of the Serafil Hira Institute in Mathematics and an elected member of the ISI. She was the winner of the ISI Jan Tinbergen Award, Division A in 2023, and she was selected as an ISI Young Ambassador at the 32nd International Biometrics Conference in 2024. Congratulations to Renata. Her research interests span survival analysis, econometrics, distribution theory, and statistical image and signal processing, and she also coordinates the STAT UFSM project, which promotes statistical literacy and accessibility through digital platforms. What a fantastic resume, Renata. A very warm welcome to this webinar. Would you like to share your view on the future of the ISI and in particular, the role of the next generation's voice? Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation and for this presentation. Hello, everyone. I would say good morning, but it's morning to me and it's not for everyone in the audience. Anyway, I am really happy to join this celebration. I feel like it's a very challenging task to represent the next generation of statisticians, but it means a lot to me, especially because, as said in the presentation, my first experience with the, I got the Jan Tinbergen Award in 2023, and it was my first experience in the international statistical community. So I'm very grateful to ISI for this opportunity, and it was really a good opportunity that changed my career and opened my view for other opportunities we have as statisticians in a more global sense. I think it's a very important initiative, and I'm very happy to hear in the speak of Professor Fabrizio that we will have more initiatives in this sense in the future. I think that this one important thing when we talk about the future is the recent technological advances, because institutes like ISI become more and more important because we can provide places where it's easy to connect with people from many parts of the world. And I think it's impossible to talk about future without highlighting this technological support. We have to communicate our work and engage with the public. So my speak about the future will be very related with these this contest of the social media and the technological resources we have nowadays. And as I said, I am very happy to see that ISI has been moving in this direction. So the future is also now. And there is no more clear example of this than the current webinar. But I also want to highlight another example, which is the work of the ISI Public Voice Consortium. I have here just an image to show some of part of the work of the Public Voice Consortium group. And we have 4 key areas: voice in the public, voice in the scientific community, voice in education, and promoting best practices. Among these, I want to highlight the voice in the public area, not only because I've been working on this area in my scientific divulgation projects, but also in the ISI group, but also because it relates directly with the kind of projects I think we need to reach the next generations. I highlight here some of the actions of the public invoice area, like the Wikipedia Statisticians Project, the blogs, and the creation of the videos and social content. On this sense, these initiatives are part of a larger movement around scientific communications, which has been gaining strength. And it's not only in statistics, but also across the scientific community in general, which is the scientific communication or divulgation projects. So looking ahead, I believe we have a real opportunity to keep expanding these efforts, and we can think about new ways to involve early careers statisticians in this kind of projects, not only as participants, but also as creators and leaders by promoting the actions that are done in different parts of the world and for all of our members. And that includes especially producing content in different languages and connecting with schools, but also sharing this work through the social media, which one of the activities of the Public Voice Consortium. So I feel like the strongest presence at ISI nowadays is on LinkedIn, but as a recent effort to get other publics, we are starting to promote and create more contents in other medias such as Instagram and YouTube channel. So I could not finish my presentation without inviting everyone to follow the Instagram and of ISI, and also to subscribe at our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, I am the co-chair of the project. We started this year, and the other co-chair is Janet van Niekerk. She is also a young ambassador of ISI. And we are starting to work at the YouTube channel, and our plan is to release videos about the work of ISI. So you are gonna to receive several invitations from us to produce contents for our channel. And I want to highlight that following these pages, it's a very small and simple step, but it's also essential if we want to grow our reach and really engage with these platforms and get more and more people. What I mean is, let's share the content, let's comment, let's bring in our experiencing and ideas with the comments. And I know sometimes we have a lot of technical work to do, but these small actions can truly make a difference in the lives of people who don't have the opportunity to attend the events like the WSC, for example. And the social media is the way to reach them. So this is how we extend our voice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Renata. That was excellent. The future of the statistics profession in general and the ISI in particular are really in good hands with the young professionals like you. And we welcome all young and not young at heart members to take an active role in the ISI, building on the rich history of our past 140 years and really creating an even richer future for the next 140 years. So please, everyone, reach out if you're interested. So now we've come to the close of our webinar, and I'd like to end where we started and hand over to our ISI Director, Conchita, for some final reflections. Before we do, I'd like to thank Conchita and her team for all the hard work that's gone into producing this webinar, and also a special thanks to Olivia for all the work that she's done on this 140th anniversary. So we'll hear from Conchita, and then we'll show a photo collage showcasing some of the ISI's signature events, and we'll also preview the 2025 World Statistics Congress. So please check out our ISI website, isi-web.org, for other information about the 140th anniversary, showcasing videos, greetings, contributions from the ISI associations, and even a poem or two. Over to you, Conchita.
Okay, thanks, Carrie, and you're very welcome. So thanks for moderating this seminar, and also thanks to the panelists for your contribution. It was an amazing webinar in honor of the celebration of our 140th anniversary. And I hope for everybody that you enjoyed the different talks. I certainly did. And I'm proud to listen to and see all the different presentations, sharing our knowledge and experience and working together on strengthening the role of statistics in society. I think is the true value of the ISI. And sometimes adding a little magic is just fun. I'm also proud to see that the panelists reflect the diversity of our membership. And as Xuming mentioned, we are working hard to stay relevant. Along the way, we of course face challenges. This is normal and drives us to innovate and adapt, as we have seen in the contribution of Fabrizio and Renata. One of the places where we come together to connect and share knowledge, discuss and work on opportunities, like Denise Leasley mentioned, is the World Statistics Congress. And in 2025, this Congress will take place in the World Forum in The Hague, the Netherlands, where currently world leaders come together to discuss important geopolitical challenges. I would like to invite you to watch the video about the upcoming World Statistics Congress, and please do not forget to register. I look forward to seeing you in The Hague or in Busan, Korea in 2027. Thank you. I think we can go over or to the photo collage or the video.
Mhm.
No, we still don't have the sound. I don't think this is going to work. I'm sorry.
This was shared with sound. Xuming, you're still online. Would you like to give a reprise of what you were saying in the video?
That will be a challenge. So basically, I think that maybe the best is we can point out the website on the ISA website. This video is being posted, so everybody is really invited to watch it. But just to sum up very quickly, the preparation for the WSC 2025 is well underway, and we are going to welcome everybody to The Hague in early October. We will have a very wonderful location, a very friendly and inclusive city in the Netherlands, and really an outstanding scientific programming. It's a scientific program including the 3 keynote speakers and many scientific sessions with invited papers and contributed papers. So I really like to welcome all of you to make sure you register and apply for a visa as early as possible if you need one to go to the Netherlands, and check out my welcome video on the ISI website. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's just try the hellos video. Shelley, do you have that one? Renata. Renata is sharing this one.
Yeah, I will try to share.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just a second, I am checking.
How are we going? Renata, are you still? Katie, are you sharing? Oh, sorry, Shelley. We may have lost Renata.
Yeah, I think we have to share it later with everybody because I don't think
Okay.
it's going to
Well,
work.
this is a special surprise for people when they go onto the website. Here's the challenge to go to the ISI website. And please look at the video. It is fantastic. Here we are. So maybe.
Let's try. Sorry, my internet fault. Can you hear?
No. Maybe turn it up. Can you turn the volume up?
Happy anniversary, ISI. Happy anniversary, ISI. Happy 140th anniversary, ISI.
My name is Anne Krimper. I'm a past ISI director. I'm happy to congratulate the ISI with its 140th anniversary. It is good to see that the organization is still very active and full of activities. So, happy birthday to ISI.
Buon anniversario, Isi. Feliz aniversario, Isi.
Feliz aniversário, ISI. Feliz aniversário, Isi.
Feliz aniversário, ISI.
Feliz aniversário, ISI.
Feliz cumpleaños, ISI.
Feliz aniversário, Isi.
Hartelijk gefeliciteerd, ISI, met je 140ste verjaardag. En nog vele mooie jaren te gaan. Groetjes van Abe.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag, Isi. سنة سعيدة ISI.
Gelukkig jubileum, ISI.
Talaga herdenken ISI.
Talaga herdenken ISI.
ISI, ibigay ko di mao ng plan ng leadership.
Hi ISI. Maligayang pagbati sa iyong ika-100 at 40 anibersaryo. Mabuhay!
Hello from Croatia. I'm Ksenia Domicic, chair of the ISI Committee on Women and Statistics. I wish a happy anniversary to the ISI. Warm congratulations to all members for promoting inclusion and equality in statistics. Let's celebrate this amazing milestone and here's to many more successful years ahead. More than this, I congratulate its Committee on Women and Statistics, its 30th anniversary. Dobar dan svima iz Hrvatske. S velikim zadovoljstvom čestitam Međunarodnom statističkom institutu njegovu 140. obljetnicu i kao trenutna predsjedavateljica Komiteta za žene u statistici toga instituta, čestitam tome komitetu njegovu 30. obljetnicu. Zahvaljujem i čestitam svima koji podupiru uključenost i jednake prilike u statistici za sve. Proslavimo ovaj impozantni jubilej želeći institutu još dugi niz briljantnih godina djelovanja.
Thank you very much for that video. It was fantastic. Please go online and see it again for yourselves. And that does bring us to the end of the webinar. Thank you again. Conchita said thank you to all the panelists, and I say thank you very much to you all as well. Happy anniversary, ISI, and that brings us to the close of the webinar. Bye, everybody.
Bye.